You may have heard the phrase, "We are made from stardust." That phrase happens to be very true. But the question is, why? And how? The answer is that stars are what create the elements that eventually make us and everything around us. One such element is carbon. Carbon is the sixth element on the periodic table. It contains 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. There are 2 electrons on the first shell and 4 on the second shell. But how did carbon get to our planet, Earth? To answer this question, we must go back in time, way back, before the solar system even existed. Now, before learning on how the solar system was formed, I think it will be necessary to learn how carbon is formed. It is formed much like any other element, from nuclear fusion within stars. Nuclear fusion is a process that combines elements and creates brand new material. Within the star, there are 3 forces that allow nuclear fusion to occur. The first one is electric force. It is the interaction between 2 charges. Opposites attract, so a negative charge and a positive charge attract, while 2 positive charges or 2 negative charges repel. In this case, electric force is at work in the positively charged protons and negatively charged electrons. The second and strongest force is nuclear force. It holds particles within the nucleus of an atom together. It is even strong enough to hold positively charged protons together, though it only works at very close distances, only 1/10 trillionth of a meter apart. The last, and probably most well-known force, is gravity. It pulls objects together, and its attraction depends on the object's mass and the object's distance. With this in mind, let's jump back to nuclear fusion. Hydrogen is the first element on the periodic table and affects all of the other elements that come after. Nuclear fusion pushes atoms together, which make new material. Thus, hydrogen becomes helium. If certain helium isotopes collide, they become beryllium. Add another helium atom to beryllium, and you've got carbon. With this in mind, let's learn how the solar system was formed, and finally, how carbon got to planet Earth. It started when an old star exploded. This is what is known as a supernova, and it happens when the star's expansive surface becomes stronger than the gravity. These explosions also create the heavier elements nuclear fusion cannot. The leftover gas and dust from the supernova forms what is called a nebula, which contains trace amounts of carbon. Static charge eventually causes the gas to form into small clumps. These clumps of tiny rock will eventually become planets. Gas clumps together and forms the sun. Hello, solar system. As rock did and does collide with Earth, there are trace amounts of carbon within. However, it is also believed that comets could have delivered carbon to Earth as well. Depending on the temperature, pure carbon can take the form of diamond or graphite. When carbon and hydrogen combine, they form what is called an organic compound. Carbon and hydrogen can form with other elements such as oxygen or nitrogen. Some organic compounds include lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. Without carbon, there would be no plants, no animals, and no us. With this information in mind, I hope you learn to appreciate your life better, knowing that carbon is what has allowed it to happen.